Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be breaking down the NBA slate for Monday, February 27th. We got a 7-game slate on for this Monday, so let's hop right into it. Alright, starting off at point guard, your most expensive point guard on this slate is James Harden. He gets a terrific matchup at home against the Pacers. The Pacers are really bad defensively against the point guard. Harden should be able to dominate in this matchup, so I really like him. Even at $62, he should be able to pay off that price tag given this matchup. So if you want to pay up at point guard, I really like Harden. He's in play. Harden isn't a must-play on this slate because there are plenty of other studs to pay up for, but he's definitely the top one if you want to pay up for him. Alright, under Harden, you got Giannis against Cleveland. I really like this matchup for Giannis if LeBron doesn't play. At the time I'm recording this video, LeBron is currently questionable for the game against the Bucks. And if LeBron is out, I really like Giannis. He should be able to dominate. Under him, you got Steph Curry against the Sixers. I feel like there are a lot of other studs that have better matchups and have better overall projections, so I'm not going to be on Curry today, especially not at $49. I don't know if he'll be able to pay off that price tag. Under him, you got Isaiah Thomas against the Hawks. I really like that matchup for Thomas. He is a little overpriced in my opinion at $48, but this is a terrific matchup against Atlanta. They're one of the worst teams defensively against the point guard, so if you want to pay up at point guard, I really like Thomas as well. He's definitely in play. One thing to take note of, though, if Avery Bradley does return for this game, then I think that really hurts Thomas. So if Bradley returns, then I don't like Thomas, but if Bradley doesn't play, then you can go ahead and fire up Thomas. Kyrie Irving against Milwaukee, I really like that matchup as well. Like I said earlier with Giannis, if LeBron is out, that's really going to give a boost to Irving. I don't think Irving is really a must on this slate if LeBron plays, but if LeBron is out, you want to make sure you get Kyrie in there. He will definitely be the point guard I target if LeBron doesn't play. He's still a good play, though, if LeBron does play. This is a terrific matchup against Milwaukee, but he really gets a big boost if LeBron is out. Gordon Dragic against Dallas, not going to go there. Dallas plays at a really slow pace. I think there are other point guards that have better matchups than Dragic, so I'm not going to be on him. Jeff Teague against Houston, I really like that matchup. Teague's price has dropped a little bit, and he gets a really good up-and-pace matchup. The Rockets play at one of the fastest paces in the league. Teague will have to be guarded by Patrick Beverley, but even in this up-and-pace matchup, I do think Teague can pay off that $32 price tag, so I like him. Under him, you got Ricky Rubio against Sacramento. I really like that matchup as well. Sacramento's terrible defensively, and Rubio's been on an absolute tear lately, so if you want to attack the mid-range at point guard, I really like Rubio as well. Dennis Schroeder against Boston, that's one of the best matchups you can have, so I really like Schroeder. Isaiah Thomas is a terrible defender, and Schroeder is really cheap at only $27. So if you want to attack the mid-range, I really like Schroeder. He's probably one of the top mid-range plays at the point guard position. He should be able to dominate in this matchup, and he is really cheap, so I really like Schroeder as well. D Rose against the Raptors, I'm probably not going to go there. This isn't a great matchup. If you can find the extra salary, I would just try and get the Schroeder, so I don't think I'm going to be on Rose. Lou Will against Indiana, I like that matchup. Lou Will's been heavily involved in this Rockets team ever since he got traded, so I like him at only $21. He should be able to pay off that price tag. Tyler Johnson against Dallas, probably not going to go there. Don't really like that matchup. And on the cheap end, I really like TJ McConnell against the Warriors. Steph Curry's not a good defender, and this is a really good up-and-pace matchup for the Sixers. McConnell's been very consistent lately, and he is really cheap at only $16. So if you want to pay down at point guard, I really like McConnell in this up-and-pace matchup. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that cheap $16 price tag. And another cheap point guard I really like is Corey Joseph. If Kyle Lowry does not play in this game, then Joseph's probably one of the top value plays on this slate. If Lowry is out and Joseph gets a start, he will dominate against the Knicks. They're terrible defensively. And Joseph is only $11 on Yahoo, which is insanely cheap. So if Kyle Lowry is out, then go ahead and fire up Corey Joseph. He's probably the top value play on the slate if Kyle Lowry does not play. And yeah, that's pretty much it for point guard. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. Alright, at the top of the shooting guard list, you got DeMar DeRozan against the Knicks. I really like DeRozan if Lowry does not play. DeRozan's probably one of the best plays on this slate if Lowry is out. This is a terrific matchup against the Knicks. They're terrible defensively. Even if Lowry plays, I still like DeRozan. He should be able to pay off that $40 price tag. But if Lowry is out, then DeRozan's probably one of the best plays on this slate. Klay Thompson against the Sixers, I don't think I'm going to go there. Thompson's price has risen a little bit. If Lowry is out, then I'm just going to jam in DeRozan at shooting guard, so I don't think I'm going to be on Thompson. Dion Waiters against Dallas, I don't like that matchup either. Waiters' price has seen an increase as well, so I don't think I'm going to be on Waiters. Wesley Matthews against the Heat, don't like that either. Matthews is overpriced in my opinion at $22. He's really been inconsistent lately, so I'm not going to be on him. Darren Collison against the Timberwolves, I really like that matchup. Collison has seen a tremendous spike in usage with Boogie sent to the Pelicans. So I like Collison even at $21. He's really been playing heavy minutes, and the Kings have been relying on him to score the ball with Boogie gone, so I like Collison at the mid-range. Tim Hardaway against Boston, don't like that matchup. With Thabo Sefolosha returning, Hardaway's really taken a step down on the offense, so I don't like Hardaway. Pat Bev against Indiana, I really like that matchup. Beverly's one of those guys I like to target for cash games just because he's really consistent, and he's cheap as well at only $19. He shouldn't have a problem hitting value in this matchup. Indiana's one of the worst teams defensively against a shooting guard, so I really like Beverly if you're wanting to pay down. And another guy I like on the cheaper end is Monte Ellis. He gets a terrific up-and-pace matchup against the Rockets. The Rockets are terrible defensively against a shooting guard, and Ellis has actually been pretty consistent lately, and he's been playing pretty consistent minutes. At only $11, he's a good value play on this slate. He shouldn't have a problem getting at least 20 fantasy points in this up-and-pace matchup. And yeah, that's pretty much it for shooting guard. Let's go and move on to small forward. All right, the top of the small forward list, you got LeBron against Milwaukee. At the time I'm recording this video, LeBron is currently questionable. Even if LeBron does play, I don't think I'm going to go to him on this slate. I feel like there are a lot better studs with better matchups, so I'm not going to be on LeBron on this slate even if he does play. But if LeBron is out, like I said back on point guard, I think you really have to target Kyrie on this slate if LeBron doesn't play. And under him you got KD against the Sixers. KD is questionable as well. If KD plays in this game, I'm not going to be on him either at $52. I don't think he's going to be able to pay off that price tag. There are definitely other studs worth paying up for, and I don't think KD's one of the guys you're going to want to target. But if KD is out, that obviously gives a boost to Steph and Clay. Andrew Wiggins against Sacramento. I really like that matchup for Wiggins. Sacramento's terrible defensively. Wiggins' price has seen an increase, but he's absolutely been killing it lately. So if you want to pay up at small forward, I really like Wiggins in this matchup. He's a great play, even at $38. Carmelo against Toronto. Probably not going to be on that. Melo is pretty cheap at only $36, but I don't really like this matchup. DeMar Carroll's a pretty solid defender, so I don't think you should target Melo on this slate. There are definitely other small forwards worth paying up for. If you want to pay up at small forward, I would definitely target Paul George against Houston. This is a terrific up-and-pace matchup for the Pacers. Houston's terrible defensively, and they play at one of the fastest pace in the league. And George is actually really cheap at only $35. So if you want to pay up at small forward, George would definitely be the guy I would target here, especially with that cheap $35 price tag. I would take him over Melo if you're choosing between them two. Harrison Barnes against Miami. Barnes is one of those guys you can lock in for cash games just because he always manages to get the job done. But I don't think Barnes is really necessary on this slate. If you want to attack that price range, I would take the guy under Barnes, and that's Robert Covington. Covington has been on an absolute tear lately, and he's been playing heavy minutes. He is really cheap as well at only $25. And this is a terrific up-and-pace matchup against the Warriors. This should be a high-scoring game, so I really like Covington at the mid-range. He's one of the top small forwards on this slate. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that cheap $25 price tag. Jay Crowder against Atlanta, definitely not going to go there. If you're attacking that price range, I would just try and find the $2 to get up to Covington. Trevor Ariza against Indiana, that's a really good matchup for Ariza. But like I said with Crowder, if you want to attack the mid-range, I would just try and get in Covington. And one guy on the cheap end you can target if KD is out is Andre Iguodala. KD missed Saturday's game against Brooklyn, and Iggy played 25 minutes and put up 28 fantasy points. He does get a boost if KD is out in this game, so if KD does not play, I like Iggy as a value play. He shouldn't have a problem getting you at least 20 fantasy points, which is good for that minimum price. But yeah, that's pretty much it for small forward. Let's go ahead and move on to power forward. Alright, at the top of the power forward list, you got Draymond against the Sixers. I'm not going to be on Draymond on this slate. Draymond's really been inconsistent lately, which is something I usually don't say because Draymond's usually one of the most consistent players in the league, but he's really been struggling lately, so I don't think I'm going to be on him today. Paul Millsap against Boston, I really like that matchup for Millsap. If you want to pay up at power forward, I would take Millsap over Green. Millsap's been way more consistent than Green has lately. So if you want to pay up at power forward, I would take Millsap over Green, but I don't think paying up at power forward is going to be the optimal strategy on this slate. There are definitely some mid-range guys you want to target. Serge Ibaka against the Knicks. I really like that matchup for Ibaka. He's been heavily involved with this Raptors team, and he's been playing heavy minutes as well. And this is a terrific matchup against the Knicks. They're terrible defensively against the power forward. So if you want to attack the mid-range at power forward, I really like Ibaka. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that $27 price tag. James Johnson against Dallas, probably not going to go there. I don't think Johnson's really necessary on this slate. Thaddeus Young against Houston, not going to go there either. Don't think he's necessary. The guy I would target, though, if you want to attack the mid-range, is Dario Saric. This isn't a great matchup defensively against the Warriors, but it is a good up-and-pace matchup. And Sarge has been on an absolute tear lately. He's been crushing value. At only $22, he shouldn't have a problem paying off that cheap price tag. So I really like Sarge at the mid-range. He's definitely going to be one of the power forwards that I target on this slate. Ersan against Boston, not going to go there. Ersan's really taken a hit since he got traded to Atlanta. Ryan Anderson against Indiana, that's a good matchup, but I don't think Anderson's really necessary on this slate. He is fine for tournaments, though, because when his shot's falling, he can put up the fantasy points. But I think the optimal strategy at power forward is just going to be to plug in Sarge. And one guy you can look towards for value is Channing Frye. With Kevin Love out, Frye's had to step into a huge role and play heavy minutes. In the 4 games he started with Love out, he's put up 40, 15, 21, and 23 fantasy points, and he's played 32, 30, 26, and 32 minutes. At only $14, he's a really good value play on this slate if you need value. But like I said, I think the optimal strategy at power forward is going to be to plug in Sarge. But Channing Frye is definitely in play for value. Another guy I like for value is Kyle O'Quinn. Kristaps Porzingis is questionable for the game today. If Porzingis does not play, Kyle O'Quinn's really going to have to step up. In the game Friday against the Sixers, when Porzingis did not play, O'Quinn played 24 minutes and put up 35 fantasy points. If O'Quinn can get 20 to 25 minutes, he won't have a problem paying off that cheap $11 price tag. So I like O'Quinn as a value play if Porzingis is out. And that's pretty much it for power forward. Let's go ahead and move on to center. All right, at the top of the center list, you got Karl Anthony Towns against Sacramento. This is a terrific matchup for Cat with no Boogie. Cat should be able to dominate against the Kings. So I really like him if you're wanting to pay up at center. He's definitely the top center on this slate. Even at $47, I still think he can pay off that price tag. He's just been absolutely killing it lately. Hassan Whiteside against Dallas. I don't really like that matchup. Dallas plays at a really slow pace. But Whiteside is pretty cheap at only $37. This is a slow-paced matchup, though, so I don't think I'm going to be on Whiteside. If you want to pay up at center, you're definitely going to want to target Cat on this slate. Dwight Howard against Boston. I really like that matchup for Howard. Boston's one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, and Dwight Howard's a terrific rebounder. So if you want to attack the mid-range at center, Dwight Howard's definitely going to be one guy you're going to want to target. He should be able to dominate the boards against Boston. Like I said, they're a terrible rebounding team. Also, you got Al Horford at that same price tag. I don't think I'm going to be on Horford on this slate. I would much rather have Howard over Horford. They're both the same price, and Howard's just an overall better play. Miles Turner against Houston. I really like that for tournaments. I wouldn't use Turner in cash games just because he's been way too inconsistent this year. But Turner does have really good upside, and in this up-and-pace matchup against the Rockets, I really like him for tournaments. He could go off in this game, but I wouldn't target him in cash. He's been way too inconsistent this year. And there are a lot of value centers on this slate. I'm just going to go ahead and start off with Nerlens Noel. He's going to be heavily involved in this Dallas offense. Ever since he got traded to Dallas, he's been the starting center, and he's really played heavy minutes. He played 29 minutes in his debut as a Maverick and put up 22 fantasy points. This is a good matchup against the Heat. Hassan Whiteside's not a good defender. So if you want to pay down at center, I really like Noel. He's in play. Also like Willie Hernan-Gomez against the Raptors. If Kristaps Porzingis does not play, then that really helps Hernan-Gomez. That really gives him a big boost. In Friday's game against the Sixers with no Porzingis, Hernan-Gomez played 23 minutes and put up 25 fantasy points. Like I said, if Porzingis is out, that really gives a boost to Hernan-Gomez, so I like Hernan-Gomez on the cheap end. If Porzingis doesn't play, he shouldn't have a problem paying off that cheap $16 price tag. Also, you can look towards Willie Cauley-Stein for tournaments. I wouldn't use him in cash games just because he has been a little inconsistent, but he's going to be heavily involved with Boogie gone. Him and Kosta Koufos are both going to have to step up, and Cauley-Stein just has way more upside than Koufos does, so I like Cauley-Stein for tournaments. He went off against Denver February 23rd, put up 40 fantasy points and played 35 minutes. But then the game after that, he only played 28 minutes and only put up 11 fantasy points. But Cauley-Stein does have really good upside, so I like him for tournaments, but I wouldn't target him in cash. He's just too risky in my opinion. And another cheap center I like as well is Jahlil Okafor. He's going to be heavily involved in this Sixers offense with no Joel Embiid and Nerlens Noel getting traded. As long as Okafor can stay out of foul trouble, he'll play heavy minutes and he'll produce. And this is a good up-and-pace matchup against the Warriors. So if you want to pay down at center, I really like Okafor at only $12. He shouldn't have a problem paying off that cheap price tag. And that's pretty much it for center, guys. Center is really loaded on this slate. I definitely feel like this is a slate where you're playing 2 centers in your lineup. I feel like the optimal strategy on this slate is going to be to pay up for Cat and then to plug in one of these value guys. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a lineup. Alright guys, so this is a lineup I put together for the NBA slate on Monday, February 27th. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments and I'll answer them. But I really appreciate you guys watching the video. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. If you never want to miss out on a video, please be sure to click the bell icon next to my YouTube name and you'll get notifications whenever I upload. So if you never want to miss out on a video, please be sure to do that. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, I told y'all, so I made it mine. Yeah, I told y'all, so I made it mine. Jump in the bar.